Happy Black Hit. I was gonna say Happy Black History Month, but anyways,
Perfect topic to cover.
I know, right? It is Black History Month. Let's get into some real Black history, like as we should. Um,
As a white man, I don't know what that's like.
yeah, yeah. In case anyone is curious, yes, James is a white man. So all of this that we're about to talk about, he never experienced anything like that. He doesn't know what being black is. Honestly, this was something that I really wanted to talk about for a minute. Just talking about like the downfall of black people, and at first I wanted to discover like why it happened, like why is this happening to black people? Like why black people? Why do black people have to be the way that they are? And I discovered that it wasn't because a white man, like how they like to say, it wasn't because a white man sold us out. It was because our own people sold us out. Black people sold out black people. And my whole life, I grew up thinking that it was always the white man, be fearful of the white man, be fearful of the white woman. I was telling James before, I don't know if you remember, well, you probably will once I mention it, but like how I used to be shocked when white people were nice to me. I used to be like, oh, you like black people? Like, oh, I wouldn't say that out loud, but I would think that in my head whenever I have like a good interaction with a white person. I'm like, oh, okay, this person likes white black people. They're not racist. Okay, good, good, good. But who are these black people that sold other black people out? Well, it is the black elites, the boule, the Sigma Pi Phi, also. That's what they also go by, which is a Greek fraternity created by black men. They were like black professionals, but this was like a postgraduate fraternity. So, like, you know how usual Greek fraternities, they're usually in college and join in college and everything like that. But no, this is something that is afterwards, postgraduate. Okay. And you have to be like, doctor, lawyer, pharmacist. Like you can't just be like any old regular graduate thinking that you're about to get into boule. No, no, no. Like these are scholars, okay? But there's Henry McNee Minton, Algernon B. Jackson, Edwin Clarence Joseph Turnip Howard, Richard John Warwick DDS, Eugene Theodore Hinson, and Robert Jones Abel. Those are the six black people, six black men that first started the Boule in Philadelphia. And you know what? You'll learn that a lot of things happen in Philadelphia. A lot of things happen in Pennsylvania, period. Okay. A lot of things happen there. But, anyways, in Philadelphia on May 15th, 1904, these group of black men, and like I said, these are doctors. I think all of them are doctors. Only one of them is a dentist. But
Yeah,
yeah, they're
DDS stands for Doctor of Dental Sciences.
oh yeah. There you go. See, there you go. Oh, I thought that was just part of his name. Well, I guess it would be since that's like his
So it's a
title.
title.
So what is the boule? What really? Okay, we know that it's like the black elites. We know it's postgraduates and all that. But what really is the boule? The boule is basically a copycat of the Skull and Bones fraternity. Now, what is a Skull and Bones? Skull and Bones was a white fraternity. Okay, so boule is black, Skull and Bones is white. All right. And in Skull and Bones, they were founded in Yale by the Russell family, and they were tied to like a bunch of different stuff. I mean, like we're not really gonna get too deep into Skull and Bones because this is about like black people, boule, and all that stuff. But like, just to like kind of sum it up, they are pretty much like in control of like political stuff. Um, I'm not sure if I could say this on YouTube.
Yeah, you could dub it in later.
Okay. All right. Media manipulation, the unalivings of many higher up there people. We're not going to go through like the whole thing, but just know that they were associated with that too. So the boule is basically just that, just black people. Okay. So literally all of that is exactly what the boule does as well. Okay. Because way back when in the day, the black elites, they also wanted to be in the Skull and Bones, but Skull and Bones was like, no, white folks only. Okay. And so they're like, oh, okay. So, whatever. We'll just copy you and just make it us. So yeah. So that's basically what it was. Okay. Also within the boule, there were also like, um, what should we call it?
Brazilians.
Okay. Okay. Within the boule, there were also Brazilians. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, if you're getting what I'm saying, okay. There are also Brazilians within the organization who basically funded the boule. So I don't think necessarily that the boule needed their money because, like I said, these are like doctors, dentists, like these are like higher up people. Like they don't really need money. They got money, but like I think what it
I think it
was
was
that
the
like
connections.
yeah, it was like more like the connections, the influence and stuff. Like, they working with the Brazilians, they were able to like kind of like elevate to another level, to like really, really be elites. Okay. So the Brazilians funded them, worked with them and all that. And basically they were part of the boule too. So they're all in this together. There's actually pictures if you like look up like the boule, you'll see like a group, and you'll see like mostly black people, and then like here and there you'll see like Brazilian man like sitting in the front or something like that. So and the boule, they've really dominated social media. Well, I guess back in the day they didn't have social media, so like media will kind of be like the newspapers, radio. Did they have TV in 1904? I don't think so. I don't think there was a TV in 1904. When did TVs come out? I don't know. Whenever TVs came out, they also had influence on what was shown on TVs and stuff like that. But before that, it was like, newspapers, like, what you hear on a station, the radio and stuff like that. So they had a big influence in that. And now in today's time, they have a big influence on social media, on TV shows, reality TV shows, uh, entertainment like basketball, music, football, like all of those. Like they have like a huge, huge influence. They're basically, I wouldn't say puppet masters, but they are the puppet masters for the puppet masters. Okay. So yeah, so with what they're putting out into like media and stuff like that, they're basically, what's the word?
Are you thinking of indoctrination?
Oh, yeah. Indoctrinating black minds. Okay. And we're going to get into like more of like how they're able to do that with like some prominent like civil activists like MLK, Rosa Parks, all those. We're going to get into like them and like how they were able to use them to like really like dominate black people's minds. But yeah. But they were like, okay, we want to be the elite. Like the black boule, they want to be the elites. They don't want other black people to be the elites, okay? They want other black people to continue to stay in the lower class, okay? So that is why they always continue to push narratives onto black people that will promote gang violence, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, the unaliving of babies, okay, and that as well. They promoted all of that onto the black community. Why do you think black people are, or black women? I want to say black people, black women have the highest rate of going to the unaliving baby clinic? Yeah, because they were taught to go there from like way back when. They were taught like, oh no, you don't need to have this baby. Let's say you could just unalive it and just like, it's a convenience thing.
That's all Planned Parenthood and what's the lady? Is it Margaret Sanger? Is the lady's name?
I think so.
Yeah, now in CIA op.
Mhm. Yep, that's how they put it heavily on black people. And now black people today think that this is something that liberates them. Black women and this unaliving baby stuff is unbelievable. I cannot stand it. Every time I hear a black liberal woman have this type of conversation, I just cannot. I start to lose brain cells listening to them because they just sound so am I allowed to say poor? I don't know, but that's what they sound like. They never want us, me, regular people, to ever be part of the elite. So they had to control us. They had to control everything down to whether or not we get to give birth or not. So they put in birth control. They put in those unaliving baby clinics. They put EBT, food stamps, government assistance. They're like, oh, what a man? You don't need a man. Just go down to the courthouse, tell them how many kids you got, and they'll go ahead and help you out. Okay, you don't need a husband. Why would you get married, sis? Oh, you had a baby outside of wedlock, and now you need to figure out how. Oh, don't worry about it. Kick that man to the curb. Come to the government. We will give you the assistance. Okay. They just completely broke apart the black family because you know what happened during segregation? During segregation, when black people were in communities put together, they were built stronger. They were thriving. Okay. These people were hardworking. They were married higher. They had, a plethora of kids. They had, their lands and everything like that. Like they were thriving. And the black elite saw that and they were like, oh no, we can't have this because now these black people are stronger than ever. They have their community, they have their family, the wives have their husbands, the husbands have their wives and their children. Oh no. Oh no, we cannot have this. We need to come in and just disrupt all of this. So that's exactly what they did. And it's something that has continued till today, till literally today. Black women are constantly taught, like, oh, you don't need to go find a man. Go back to school. Go get an education. Yeah, go marry your degree. Go marry your career. Yeah, you know what? You can have a man later. You can start a family later. You could do that all later. But right now, let's focus on this, okay? They purposely, and you know why they pushed it so heavily onto black women is because women are so easily manipulated. You tell them something, you show them sweet candy, they will grab that candy so quick. But anyways, so yeah, so they go in, disrupt the black community, and this is why the black community starts to fall. Black people sold out black people, okay? They did it to themselves. Okay? We need to stop this whole white man this, white man that. Black man did the black man did it to you. Okay? The black man did it to you. All right, and it's time to acknowledge the truth. It's time to stop living in fantasy. It's time to stop just believing whatever else nonsense that you want to believe because it's easier to believe that. We need to stop that, okay? Because your own people sold you out, and they'll do it again, and they'll do it again, and they'll do it again, okay? They don't care, all right? So back to the boule, right? So if you're wondering, how does one join the boule? You have to be invited, okay? You can't just be like, oh, you can't just join.
You can't
be
pledge.
Like, oh, yeah. You have to be invited into it. They have to send you an invitation. They'll call you, okay? You can't call them. They will call you if they want you to join. All right. And we'll get into a little bit more later about how I think they really recruit people and how they really find them starting at a young age. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So anyway, so the boule is truly the top 1% of black people. These are the top 1%. Okay. Maybe not even one, maybe what's less than one? I don't even know. 0.5. There's not really that many of them. I think today there's probably 5,000 members in total. In all, it's not just the US. They're based here. They're based in Germany, I'm pretty sure. They're based in the Bahamas. It's not just here. That's 5,000 in total. Out of all locations, 5,000. So that's very, very small compared to the population of the world. I found Steve Coakley. Steve Coakley really dove deep into the boule, really Oh my gosh. And I was trying so hard to like rewatch his videos and like try to pull different clips from him and like, but it's just so hard because everything he talks about is literally so good. Like it's so hard to just pull like a minute or like 2 minutes because it's like, no, you just have to watch his full thing. Like there's no other way. Like you just have to watch it. Like that's just all I have to say. Oh, and also I was going to say interesting thing, but it's actually really, really sad because this is how Steve Coakley passed. So pretty much he was supposed to be joining another. And you know what? You can't find any info. I literally found this one link about this info and that was it. But anyways, this guy had a radio show way back then, and he invited Steve Coakley to come on to like talk about the Boule stuff and all that. And right before they were on the phone, okay, or I think the guy called Steve Coakley. Steve Coakley is like, you know what? I'm really excited to be on your show. It's going to be really, really great. I have some names and I have some information that I'm ready to drop. Like it's some big stuff. Like these are big names, big info. Like, and we're going to drop it all on your show. And the guy's like, you know what? Yeah, sounds exciting. Sounds good. So Steve actually had an appointment at the doctor's. I'm pretty sure like the day before going on a radio show. So he goes to his doctor's appointment for something very simple. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know that it's something that you can leave the hospital within like a few hours of. Like it's not something that's like what's it called? Fatal. It's not something that's fatal. So, anyways, he went, he never made it out. And the guy, he tried calling Steve multiple times. This is before they had cell phones, okay? So he's calling Steve's home phone. He tried calling Steve multiple times. Steve is not answering. He finally got a hold of one of Steve's family members, and they told him what happened and how he passed. And the guy said that, I'm not accusing anyone or anyone at the hospital for doing any wrongdoing. But it's just really interesting how right before we were on the phone, he said that he had some names and some big information that he was going to drop. He goes to the hospital and then never makes it out. Very interesting.
Charles Wesley, you can see that the Grecian Sphinx, which is their logo, which has a urn, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, and the wings of a bird and the body of a lion, the tail in the form of an S. But in that eulogy to Wesley, in the closing of that eulogy, there was this little model for a mighty world. And this looks a little like the Olympic torch. And hand in the dictionary of symbols is very symbolic. But they put Alfred Lord Tennyson on this side and Wesley on that side. And it says, in the fair order of the Table Round, a glorious company, the flower of men who wrote about redressing human wrong. They spoke no slander, no, nor listened to it, who served as a model for a mighty world. They loved one maiden only and lived for her through years of noblest deeds. I noticed that he used the word the fair order of the Table Round. Now this is the Boule Journal, the fall of '87. This is an old white poet. Why is this white poet in an all-black men's society magazine? But then on this side, Charles Wesley, who's being utilized, I was going to wait and do that at the end. The round table lives only in poetic life and history, and they can live again in life, and we can make them live through us. It can continue as a dream, and it can continue again through us. Charles Wesley and Tennyson are put side by side. The only words that are equally compatible are the words fair order of the table round or the round table lives. Any way it goes, I understand the Boule is drawing attention to the word pie or round table. And that round table, we know from Quigley, an awesome cornerstone source, is the code word for a secret society that comes from Cecil Rhodes and Rothschild. So that this big white society has an umbilical cord and their baby is a black society, the first of the black Greek things. To be black and have a secret society and to give its honor to Greek is to give honor to the one who gave birth to you.
Now, I rewatched that video I think like 3 times, all of it. That was probably the most I can give you guys to share because even that was like hard. I'm like, man, where should I like clip it? Where should I show? It's just so much. He's so good. He was so good. But anyways, okay, so we saw that Sphinx, okay? like he said, wings of a bird, body of a lion, and a tail in the form of an S. With his hand, or I was gonna say his, but its hand over in urn. Urn, WRN. Not W, URN. I say W. Oh my gosh.
It's the
That
same
urn.
tattoo, or LeBron James has that tattooed on his chest.
I was gonna get there. You're jumping ahead, but yes. But yes, that is correct. If you ever seen LeBron James, right? That's his name?
Yep.
Okay. LeBron James with his shirt off. That is the tattoo that is like giant across his chest, is the Sphinx, okay? And if you're wondering if that's because he's part of Boule, yes, it is, okay? So yeah, that's why he got the tattoo. So basically, hand over the urn is how they swear. Oh gosh, why is my hair like this? Okay, there we go. Is how they swear in like within the fraternity to not share. So on the urn, it has like a circle of a circle of a circle, and like it's like a big circle, and then it's like another circle within it, and another circle within it, and like a little teeny circle within it. Okay. So basically, it's to keep the circle within the circle within the circle. Keep everything within, okay? No one shares nothing. Okay, what happens in the boule stays in the boule. All right. No one shares no info, and they swear this is like blood, like this is like a real, like they really swear on this urn that they will not share anything within this fraternity, within this society, and they will keep everything within the circle, and within that circle, and then within that circle, and then within that circle. Okay, that's basically how that little thing works, and that's why it's over the urn. Okay, they swear to protect it because you can't leave the fraternity and live. Okay, you can't. All right, if you want to leave, then you have to die. That's just what it is. Okay, that's just what it is. You swore on your life that you were going to protect this fraternity, that you were going to protect the circles within the circle within the circle. And if you ever try to step out of that, then you can't be alive anymore. Like that's just what it is. All right. So you see that picture there. Now, I want to talk about this because I thought it was interesting that he mentioned that it looks like the Olympics type thing, which it does, but they do like the whole pass the torch thing. But like I was okay when I first saw it before he said that, I thought like, oh, is that the Statue of Liberty? That's what I thought immediately. So I don't know if it's just me or if if anyone else sees that too, and if you see that too, because I immediately thought Statue of Liberty before he even said Olympics. And then I know like the whole story with like the Statue of Liberty and like why the Statue of Liberty is really put there and who gave that to us. Wink, wink. If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I thought
Okay.
I thought that torch means it's like a symbol of enlightenment.
Well, I think what I saw, the clip that I saw on X like a while ago, I can't fully remember it, but they're basically saying like, with the Statue of Liberty and like it being put in America is like basically like their new world. Like if you're the Brazilian new world. So,
yeah,
that's what I heard.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like they're passing the torch, to like, yeah.
Kind of interesting because the Statue of Liberty is a woman, and then the Sphinx is also supposed to be the head of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then the other thing I was thinking of is because doesn't Lucifer mean like bringer of light? Or light bearer, or isn't that like an alternative interpretation on it? It's like bringer of light, light bearer, something like that.
Like morning star or something like that.
Yeah, and a lot of the videos I watched, which guy was it? It was like Untruth or something like that on YouTube. He kept talking about how demonic the Boule and these secret societies were. So that was just an interesting tie-in as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they worship this Sphinx. They worship the man downstairs. Okay, that's who they worship. And they have to. This is part of what they do. And they put sacrifices, a lot of sacrifices, not just, blood from their own hand, but blood from others. We won't get too into it, but sacrifices have to be made, okay? Real, maybe like unaliving people sacrifices, okay? Unaliving small people sacrifices, okay? Those have to be made in order for you to be part of this society, okay? They have to be done. Every person that is part of this society, they all did it, okay? All of them. And in order to be part of it, you have to engage in homosexual activity. You got to. That's also part of it as well. So all these people who are part of the Boule, they are also basically homosexuals. They could try to pretend that, they just did it for the one time, maybe for just to get in, but no, you're a homosexual now. Now you're probably like, okay, the Boule can't do this all by themselves, right? Okay, because the Boule is only one organization, okay, one fraternity. They need places everywhere, okay? They need a spot somewhere. And so that is how we get into the Divine Nine, okay? The Divine Nine is the 9 Greek fraternities that you can find at any HBCU for sure, okay? And I actually have family members who are part of certain ones. I won't say specifically which one, but she is part of one of these, all right? This is the Divine Nine, okay? The Divine Nine plays a very key role because you'll see that pretty much all of these high elite Black people are within the Divine Nine in some way, okay? Whether it's a fraternity or a sorority, they're in the Divine Nine. So basically, there's like Alpha Phi Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Sigma Gamma Rho, Phi Beta Sigma, and Iota Phi Theta. So those are it. All right.
You know who was in that video I watched? I believe they said Kamala is Alpha Kappa Alpha.
I didn't even know that, but that makes sense.
This is the picture I was looking for earlier.
Oh yes, that's him. See, there you go. It's a little faded, but you can see that is the body of a lion. Oh yeah. Oh, whoa, you can zoom in. What the heck?
No, he zooms in on the video.
Oh, well, see, what's his name? If you go to the previous picture, that is the leader, or was the leader, of the Black Panther movement. He was also part of the Divine Nine. He was in the, I'm pretty sure it was the Phi Beta Sigma. That's what he was in. So I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is either. But there was another picture somewhere. Where was it? Where it was like the building or something?
The first one?
Oh, yeah. There we go. So, yeah. So that's all of them right there. So basically, this Divine Nine also has control over Black history. And they are able to influence what is put into history textbooks, like for schools and stuff like that, and for media, for social media. So if you ever wondered, like, oh, why did this specific Black civil rights activist get put into history books and not like maybe these other ones that are also Black civil rights activists? That's because they chose them. This Divine Nine group, they all in cahoots together, and they chose these people to be put in the books, okay? They pick and pull specific people, all right? And also pretty much all of them were in the Divine Nine as well. All the ones that they chose were also in the Divine Nine. So they chose their own people, basically. They're like, yeah, we're sticking with our own. Also, the Divine Nine, they help civil rights activists. So they help as far as like funding and like getting people to join, getting people to like, be interested in an activist. They're the ones who they do the promotions, basically.
It tells you who the people are. Huey P. Newton, Phi Beta Sigma, Shirley Chisholm, Delta Sigma Theta sorority. She was the first African American woman in Congress.
when Martin Luther King did his I Had a Dream speech. If you ever wondered how all those people showed up for him, that was because the Divine Nine put that together. They were the ones who rallied up people to get people to come to his speech. Okay,
What-
they didn't just show up.
What state was he from?
Where was MLK from? Golly,
Was he out of Arkansas?
I think so.
Or was it Alabama?
I don't even know. Hold on.
Because the last photo, I don't know how to say it. Minnie Jean.
Oh, Atlanta,
Oh,
Georgia.
he's from Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the last picture, it says she was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, so that's the same one Kamala is. Some of her notable contributions include being one of the 9 trailblazing students who were integrated at Little Rock Central High School. So she was one of the first people put in place there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa there. Anyways, did you want to say something about this?
No, I was just pulling this up because we were talking about it before. But yeah, MD, so doctor, dentist,
Mhm.
doctor.
Oh, and then Dr. MLK. But you know what? We're going to get into his doctor stuff later. Moving forward, we're going to be moving to how I think these people find more Boule members, how I think they're able to send out more invitations. And that is with Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill was founded by Marion. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name. Marion, Marion. I can't really imagine saying it any other way. Marion? She was a Black woman who was a concert pianist, and this Jack and Jill organization was founded in Pennsylvania in 1930. Again, Pennsylvania. Everything happens in Pennsylvania, okay? So basically, she and 20 of her friends who also had kids, they developed this social club, which would be Jack and Jill. And it's basically was to provide extracurricular activities for Black kids, because back then there weren't really many activities that were available for Black kids. I mean, a lot of white functions didn't want to have Black kids in their stuff. So the Black kids were kind of left with like really not much to, join. So they were like, okay, let's create our own little social clubs that will, help get Black kids into more activities. So, yeah. So at first, it just started off as like, something small, something just between her and her friends. But then this grew like a lot. And now there's like 230 chapters in America and in Germany. Germany again. So Pennsylvania and Germany. Okay. Remember these places: Pennsylvania, Germany, the Bahamas. Okay. And basically like the whole like islandy, maybe like the Caribbean too. And it starts at the age of 9. And I believe it goes all the way to like 16, 17. So yeah, so they join and they learn like proper etiquette. They learn how to act. They learn how to like basically be mini Boule members. Basically, they're little miniature Boulets. They're not Boulets, but like they're on their way to be elite Black people within the world. Okay, these are not just like regular kids or regular Black kids who just like hang around the block. No, these Black kids, they go to schools that you have to pay a tuition for. And then when they get to college, they go to Ivy League schools. Okay. They got straight A's. They know how to talk. They know how to act. They wear quarter zips. Okay. Okay. All right. These are not like your regular Black kids. Like these are proper trained Black kids. And I think that they basically train these kids within the Jack and Jill organization to be on their way to be Boule members, possibly. Now, it's not a guarantee that, they'll be Boule members, but at least they'll be, going in the right direction. And these are not just regular Black families, okay? Usually, the fathers of these children are Freemasons.
I also think, because I don't think that was the case. I think if you're just super successful,
Hmm.
you'll get a tap on the shoulder. Like that's probably what happened with LeBron James. I don't think he was
Oh,
picked
true.
as a child. And then that clip I watched of I might be able to pull it up, of John Sally.
But didn't you say that for like NBA players, like you have to start like basically at elementary school, like start getting recruited and stuff?
Some would, so they might keep an eye on you, but there's a lot of guys that were crazy top ranked in high school and didn't pan out. So it doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, they might just keep an eye on you, and then when the time comes, you might get, like I said, the knock on the door, the tap on the shoulder that says, "Hey, come here."
Well, that's what I was saying. I was saying, like, it's not guaranteed and it's not like 100%, just like just Jack and Jill, but like, I'm sure like they got quite a few that came from Jack and Jill and they were like, okay, you grew up to be, we've been watching you, and
Because I'm a Mason. I'm a 33-degree Mason.
I'm actually, well, I was sworn in as a Freemason, but I never actually did anything after that.
I moved in and learned what I needed to do. Me and Shaq had conversations about it. And
Shaq's a Freemason too?
Yeah. And then as you get older, you start seeing and hearing all these different things. Man, I'm telling you, there's so much going at you 24 hours a day that you can't keep up. But I did pledge, and my brother went Prince Hall, and I went Scottish Rites here in Los Angeles. When I went to Egypt, I was totally into the Egyptology,
Egypt is another
which is
one.
French pronunciation, because I got to literally lean against the pyramid, put my face against the pyramid. I got to, touch the Sphinx, walk under it. So I got to see all of these things that we see this is built upon.
So now we're moving forward to the NAACP. Okay. So the NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Okay. This was founded in February on the 12th, 1909. And basically, it's a civil rights organization to kind of like combat racial violence and discrimination. It's basically, to give Black people some recognition too. Black people a gold star. One of the original executive leaders of the NAACP was W.E.B. Du Bois, who was a Boule member. Are we surprised? I don't think so. I don't think we should be. I don't think we should be surprised at this point. But like, he was also a Boule member. And then we have a little circle of Brazilians that basically are the co-founders and who funded the NAACP. So the NAACP wasn't just created, funded, done everything just by Black people. Okay, that's false. All right, they'll try to teach you that, but that's wrong. Okay, this was co-founded and funded by Brazilians. Okay, and quite a few. These are Brazilians. They were also communists, or you could say, I learned a new term, Marxist. I never even heard that before, but it's basically the same idea as communism. And they're all within the NAACP. Okay. Freemasons. I mean, we're not surprised. They're everywhere. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. So right there is a picture of them. And as you can see, we got some Black folks in there, but we also got some Brazilians in there as well. All right. You're picking up what I'm putting down. So yeah, and then yeah, there we go. If you look at the little highlighted blue right there, you'll see what I'm talking about. And then who is that? What? Is that MLK right there? Oh. And then shout out to Malcolm X, okay? Because Malcolm X is the only one who is not part of the Divine Nine, who was not part of the Boule, and was the only one who spoke out against Brazilians and did not want to be associated with them, okay? So shout out to MLK. I mean, not MLK, Malcolm X. Malcolm X. But then we also scroll to this picture here. this picture right here that shows MLK at Communist Training School. Oh, and then if we look a little bit to the, what is this, left, we'll see a black woman sitting over there.
Which
Who?
one?
The one at the end.
This
That
one?
last black woman. Yes. Does anyone recognize her? That's Rosa Parks. That is Rosa freaking Parks.
Oh,
We'll talk about them a little bit later.
there you go. She's in this photo too.
Oh, yep, there she is, right sitting right next to the that white girl and the white guy right there. Alrighty. So my question was, when I was looking into all of this and I was seeing all of this, and I'm seeing the cahoots that Black people and Brazilians have with each other, I'm like, wait a minute, why use Black people though? Why Black people? Like, why not like Mexicans or even white people or I don't know, anybody else? Why Black people? And honestly, I couldn't really find like an exact answer, so I kind of just came up with my own. I honestly think it's because Black people are probably the easiest manipulated race of people to ever exist. You tell them to jump, and they won't even ask how high, they'll just do it. Like, they, you, if you want an agenda pushed, if you want a narrative push, give it to Black people. They'll do it. They won't even ask no questions. You tell them, oh, where we're going against these people, they'll do it.
They'll dance
Or-
while they're doing it.
Yep, they'll dance and they'll twerk and they'll throw up gang signs and the middle finger and the N-word and everything like that. They'll do that all in between. Okay. And then you'll tell them, be like, oh, actually, you know how I was telling you to like go against this person? Oh no, now we're supporting them. They'll be like, oh yeah, okay. They won't even ask no questions. They'll just immediately start supporting the person that they were just hating because they were told to. Black people will literally do anything that is told to them. They will believe anything that's told to them, and they just have such a low IQ that it really boggles my mind sometimes how low of an IQ these people have. Oh, what is this?
There, I've never been there. If I have fans over there, then fans over there, I've never been there. If I
This
have
is from
fans over
today.
there, then
They asked LeBron what he thought about it.
inspire people over there to not only want to be great in sports, but also want to just be better in general in life. So hopefully someday I can make it over there. Like I said, I've never been over there, but I've heard nothing but great things, and I appreciate the question. Fans over there, I've never
Wow.
been there. If I have fans over there.
See?
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully someday I can make it over there. Wow. You know who did make it over there several times? MLK.
They said bro didn't read the book. That's the Malcolm X book. That he was always on like the third page every time he was photographed.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, we don't know who that guy is. We don't know.
The commissioner. Well, we know that they're super pro-Brazilian. I mean, there was, I don't know, I would have to find it, but Robert Kraft, the guy who owns the New England Patriots, there was a video that came out that was like how he turned the New England Patriots stadium effectively into like some surveillance tower where they were monitoring like social media posts of people criticizing the people of these flags. It was
wow.
pretty crazy.
Oh wow.
And we know that there was a guy, I want to say, I don't watch football, so I don't know. I want to say he played for like LA, and he was on stream with Aiden Ross, known Brazilian, and he told him to do like a dance where he was like rubbing his hands together, like the meme. And the kid got like immediately fined. He got called by the head of the league. They were like, you better not do that touchdown dance, this and that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh. Wait, Aiden is a Brazilian?
yeah.
Aiden Ross?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, I didn't even know that. Well, now that makes sense why all those people who were under him made it big and
Yeah.
they kicked him to the curb. Oh gosh. So MLK, also Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., also Michael Luther King Jr. I just learned recently that his real name was Michael. And him and his father and him changed their name after they had a trip to Germany. Here we go again with Germany. Like I'm telling you, Germany is going to be brought up a lot. Okay, so they went to Germany, and MLK's dad was just so inspired by Martin Luther. Martin Luther translated the Bible to German. So, because he thought, like, you know what, this needs to be shared with my people. So I'm gonna translate it. And it was actually during a time where Christianity, the Bible, and all that stuff wasn't really supported. So he actually had to do this in secret. But yeah, but he basically started a whole like, wow, like he was so brave translating it, and there was actually some other things about Martin Luther. I mean, he didn't really agree with certain stories in the Bible or certain chapters of the Bible, but we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. But anyways, that's apparently the story as to why MLK's dad went back home and was like, you know what? I'm changing both of our names to Martin Luther King, and I'll be Senior, Yoba Junior. As we already established, MLK was a member of the Boule, and like we already said, he was a puppet for the Brazilians. And we also already showed that he went to that communist school to basically learn how to really, really, truly be a true puppet for the Brazilians.
The acknowledged monarch of the street revolution is the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. No showbiz personality of the last 30 years has received as spectacular a Madison Avenue buildup as King. The media boys have built an image for King that qualifies him for the role of sainthood. King has been selected as Man of the Year by Time magazine and received the Nobel Peace Prize. Yet, everywhere this man of peace travels, violence follows like night the day. Isn't it strange that this does not seem to tarnish his show business image? Since King is one of the most influential and renowned personalities in the United States, one assumes that if he had connections with communists, this should be headline news. When in 1962, the New Orleans police raided the headquarters of the Southern Conference Educational Fund, the organization cited by investigating committees of both congressional houses as the #1 Communist Front organization in the South. They discovered extensive documentary evidence proving that King was working hand in glove with the Reds. The police found photostats of letters from King requesting the communists to work closely with his organization. Canceled checks showing communist financial involvement with King and the civil rights movement. And even a photograph showing the 3 leading communists who run the Southern Conference Educational Fund sitting right behind King as he addresses a meeting of his own organization. All of these documents have been photostatically reproduced in a report issued by the state of Louisiana and are available to the public. This startling expose should have been the headline story of the year.
This is what I was looking for. It's got that, but then you scroll down here.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of hard to tell, but that's kind of what it looks like.
Oh.
His wife was apparently initiated into
Oh, yeah.
Prince Hall Order of the Eastern Star.
Mm-hmm. When you look up MLK, main thing that we'll say about him is that he was a pastor, and he was Christian. Funny, because when I started looking into MLK, I mean, he claimed to be Christian, but he didn't believe in any of the main miracles that are really like the foundation of Christianity, which is the virgin birth of Jesus. He didn't believe in that. He didn't believe in the resurrection of Jesus. He spoke blasphemy, basically, stating that humans are basically gods. Oh, wait a minute. Sir, I thought I thought you were a pastor. I thought this is the whole thing. You're supposed to believe in the resurrection of Christ. You're supposed to believe in his birth. That's literally like the top miracle that happens in the Bible. And you don't believe that it happened? And you're a pastor? That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, and then moving on, I mean, they say that he was, like I said, a good Christian man, a good husband, faithful husband. Fortunately, that's a lie. MLK was far from faithful, and I think there's a few black people,
Wait,
normie black
do
people,
people say that? As everyone I know, I mean, everyone I hear talk about it, nobody believes that.
that he's faithful
Yeah.
or was faithful. Well, I will say that is coming out a little bit more, that people are realizing that he was not a faithful man, but I don't think they actually realize exactly what I don't, or not realize, but know exactly what he did. It's not like he cheated on his wife, like and he had like a mistress or something like that. No. This man was basically doing Diddy parties before Diddy parties were even a thing. With the behind the scenes drinking, fornication, and homosexuality. See, this is what I was trying to tell you. All of them have to perform homosexual acts on each other. That is how you stay in the group. That's how you join the group. That's just what you got to do. Okay, you cannot say no. This activity is not new to King and Associates. As early as January 1964, King engaged in another 2-day drunken in Washington, D.C. Many of those present engaged in sexual acts, natural as well as unnatural, meaning like, going both ways, okay, for the entertainment of onlookers. When one of the females shied away from engaging in an unnatural act, King and other of the why does it say that? King and other of the males present discussed how she was to be taught and initiated in this respect.
It's just how they talk back then, but they're clarifying that it's basically King and other men in the room present, differentiating from other women that might have been there.
Yep. Oh, okay. So yeah. So listen, the Diddy freak offs is not original. MLK was doing it way before Diddy was born, okay? And it's like, wow, they really put in her face that this was a good Christian man. Maybe he stepped out a few times on his wife, but nothing too crazy. No, this man was having whole sex with women, all that. Oh, and then yeah, let's get into his speech. Let's get into his speech. He didn't write it? Oh, what? Oh, what? What you mean he didn't write it? Okay, I'm not gonna say he didn't write like all of it, but a good percentage of it, I would say like maybe pushing 90%, was written by a Brazilian. And this Brazilian he worked very closely with. MLK and this Brazilian, they were like besties, okay? They worked very closely with each other. This Brazilian was like MLK's advisor, all right? So, and he also edited, drafted, all that other stuff. MLK's biggest speech, which is the I Had a Dream speech. So yeah, so who is this Brazilian that he collaborated with and that wrote his his I Had a Dream speech? Stanley Levinson. Everything that this man ever said was told to him, okay? He didn't have any original ideas. He didn't have any original thoughts, okay? They told him, say this, say that, and he did it. That's it, okay? And this goes all the way down to even his doctorate. 60% of his dissertation for his doctorate was plagiarized. He didn't even write it originally. It was all plagiarized. But he was given a doctorate. That's why we put doctor in front of his name. But he didn't even write most of his stuff. Like it was all made up. This man can't. I'm trying to tell y'all. This man has no original thoughts. Okay. Oh, there he is. That's Stanley. That's Stanley Levinson. let's talk about how MLK was unalived. Because, wow, it was very, very similar to how someone else got unalived as well. And you know what? Well, I'm sure you'll put the pieces together when we play the video.
There's no way they would run the same playbook twice, right?
April 4th, 1968. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. steps out onto the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee at 6:01 p.m. Authorities say a single 30-06 rifle shot strikes him in the jaw and neck. One shot, one kill. The police also find a bundle near the crime scene, which contained a Remington Model 760 rifle, binoculars, and personal items tied to one James Earl Ray, an escaped convict from Missouri. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover quickly pronounced Ray to be a lone, racist, hate-filled assassin, and that there were no co-conspirators, no second shooter, and no larger plot. Didn't something like that happen just recently? Years later, the FBI and also the House Select Committee on Assassinations both admitted they could never conclusively match the fatal bullet to Ray's rifle. So in other words, the single most important piece of forensic proof tying Ray to the murder does not actually exist. And then there were the contradicting eyewitnesses. This is from the Washington Post. Quote, some witnesses, including then New York Times reporter Earl Caldwell, said that they saw a man moving in the thick bushes behind Jim's Grill, which is near the crime scene, but in a location not where Ray was said to be. Then they say for reasons unknown, Memphis Public Works employees cut down the bushes and destroyed a possible crime scene the very next morning. As always, when you follow the evidence, or lack thereof, things just stop adding up.
Wow, does that sound familiar? Huh. Funny that they just keep using the same story. They just keep recycling the same stuff. They can't come up with any new ideas. But why? Why would you come up with a new idea when it seemed like the old one worked just fine? So just keep using it. Weird. Weird how that seemed to have happened recently. Oh my gosh. So basically I learned recently though that the reason why MLK was unalive, because that's what I was trying to understand. I was trying to understand, why did they unalive MLK? I mean, like, he was doing everything that they told him to do. He said everything that they told him to say. I mean, like, what did he do wrong? Well, apparently there was a moment where he did slip up. Unfortunately, he did slip up and accidentally said some things that actually go against the agenda that they pushed. Okay, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but I believe there was something that was like in relation to like the war that was going on or something at that time. And basically he just said something completely opposite of what the narrative they were trying to push. And so that was the first slip up. And then remember what I was telling you about the boule and how you have to stay in it. You cannot leave. And if you leave, then you're unalived. That's what happened to MLK. A month before he was unalived, he left the boule. And I don't know if he thought he could just put in a 2 weeks notice and be like, you know what, it's going to be my last day on this date. And maybe he thought he got away with it when a month went by and nothing happened. But I'm trying to tell y'all, you cannot leave this organization. When you're in it, your blood, literally, your blood is put into this fraternity. Like, you cannot leave it. You have a sacred oath to protect the fraternity and protect your brothers that are also in the fraternity as well. All right, so now moving on to Rosa Parks. So, like I said, we saw Rosa Parks in that picture going to that communist school. And we know that Rosa Parks, she was also like a big activist, a big back activist as well. And she was also the secretary for the local chapter of the NAACP, which plays it a little bit later into her story. But, you know, she's mainly known for her one and done act of getting on that bus and refusing to give up her seat for a white person. and then ended up getting arrested by 3 officers and yada yada yada. And then she went on to be like such an amazing figure, and Black women love referring to Rosa Parks all the time. But anyways, that sparked the Montgomery bus boycott and the whole like suing and everything like that went on after that. But why did that really happen? Did Rosa really just get on a bus, was tired after a long day of work, and just didn't want to get up for a white person? Was she really just sick of the discrimination? Was she really just tired of it? Really? Or was there something else going on here? Or is this just another narrative, another story, another thing that they could put in the history books for us to believe later? Yeah, if you believe option 2, then okay, we're on the same page here. So basically, this whole bus incident was a pre-planned event, okay, by Rosa Parks, by the NAACP, and by MLK too, okay? He knew about this. He knew that this whole boycott thing was going to happen days before it actually happened, okay? And that was the whole reason why he was in the area when it did actually start happening. So this was not only pre-planned, but it also wasn't original, okay? This was actually a recreation of Claudette Colvin, who was the original not giving up my seat for no white person, okay? On March 2nd, 1995, all right, Claudette Colvin gets on the bus, and a white lady gets on the bus, and Claudette is on the bus with schoolmates, so there's all their black students on the bus as well. And the white woman, she steps on and she sees that 2 black boys are sitting in a seat that she wants to sit in. The bus driver tells those 2 black boys to get up. They get up, they move, and right before she can sit down, she looks over on the other side and she sees Claudette sitting in the same row. She was like, "Oh no, I don't want Claudette I don't want a black girl sitting in the same row as me." And Claudette was like, "Well, I'm not getting up." Basically, she was like, "I'm not getting up. I'm not moving. I refuse to move." And here we go again. Cops were called. 2 officers showed up. There was a mix of stories of whether she fought the police. Some people say that she was feisty, that she was fighting them. Some people say that she was peaceful and she went with them with no fight at all. It was a mix. Who knows? But basically, she was charged with disturbing the peace. She was charged with assault on an officer. And then she was also charged with something else as well. But the 2 like minor offenses, they dropped. And the main one, which is assault on an officer, they left on her to charge her for. And civil rights activists, of course, they rally behind her. They're like, "Oh, no. We're here to support you, sis. We're going to stand by you. We're going to stand behind you." And the reason why they stood behind her and the reason why they supported her so much wasn't because she's a black woman facing discrimination and all that stuff. No, that was because she was part of the youth program of the NAACP. Yeah, she was already in the organization. She was already in cahoots with these people. She was basically the OG Rosa Parks, okay? Well, unfortunately, the reason why Claudette didn't end up being the Rosa was because she ended up getting pregnant. Yeah, she got pregnant and she was 14 years old, I believe she was 14 years old. But she ended up getting pregnant by a man that was way older than her. And apparently this man was 40 years old. And he was a Brazilian. Yes, he was a Brazilian. His name was Elliot Klein. And the news got out about her being pregnant, and some people wanted to say that it was just a rumor. They tried to die down. They tried to say that it was just a rumor, that it wasn't real, that it was fake, but no, she really was pregnant. And so because of that, all the civil rights activists, all the Divine Nine, everyone stepped away from her. They're like, "Okay, we can't do this no more. We can't support her anymore. This is too messy. This is too much. I mean, we had this plan. We were going to use her, but now it's too much. We can't use her anymore. This is really, really bad." So then Rosa Parks was like, "Okay, here we go. This is perfect. This is my time to shine. This is my time to shine." So Rosa Parks basically took Claudette under her wing. And had Claudette repeat her story multiple times in front of, the other people part of the NAACP, the other, like, you know who I'm talking about, okay? She had her repeat her story multiple times for these people. And at some point, Claudette was like, wait a minute, are these people tired of my story? I don't think they want to hear it anymore. But the reason why Rosa wanted her to repeat her story so many times was because she and the NAACP were going to repeat it. They were going to redo it, but they needed more, they needed details, okay? They needed, like, okay, how are we going to do the bus? How are we going to do the white person? How are we going to do the officers? Like, they had to plan out the story. So that's why they had Claudette repeat it so many times. And so finally, they got the script right. They got the cast together. Rosa Parks as the lead star. Rosa Parks got on that bus. And actually, this took multiple attempts. This took multiple getting on different buses. Why? Because the whole Black people sit in the back thing was mainly put on Black men, Black young boys. This wasn't really something that was put on Black women too much, okay? Maybe there were certain certain bus drivers who would enforce the rule on Black girls too, and Black women as well. But like I said, it was mainly Black men. So every bus Rosa was getting on, nobody was enforcing the rule on her. They were only enforcing it on the Black men. So she had to keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. And finally, she gets on the right bus with the right type of bus driver that would tell her to move for a white man. And then she was finally able to do her script. She was like, okay, perfect. This is my time. Cameras, lights, action. Here we go. And she did her whole little bit. She did her whole little story, her whole little, I'm not getting up. Blah, blah, blah. And that's what we ended up seeing in the history books. That's what we ended up seeing, everywhere now. That's what Black people love talking about so much now. Okay. And it was all made up. It was all made up. It wasn't original. Okay. It wasn't original. Not only was it, oh, what is this? What is Henlo? Henlo? Is that how they say it?
There's just a bunch of typos and stuff. This is part of the meme.
Henlo, friend. It is the resilience. Every single time? Yes, always has been. Thanks, friend. Didn't know that. Okay, bye. Bye. One thing about James, he is going to pull up a Pepe meme, okay? I don't know how he finds them, but he always finds a Pepe meme. But, okay. Okay, that's enough. But yes, it is the resilience every time. If you ever think, oh, Black people did this on their own, they never did it on their own. It was always Brazilians. Every single time it was Brazilians that were behind it, that were orchestrating it. Every time, okay? They're the ones that are pulling the strings. They're the ones that control are all of these activists that we were told to like love and like look up to. They were all put together by the Brazilians, okay? Your history is a lie, okay? And those were only just a few of the civil rights activists. I didn't even get into Huey, the leader of the Black Panther movement. I didn't even get into that one, but if you thought that one wasn't controlled by the Brazilians, listen, then this whole video was a waste of time. That's a little bit of the history of like, everything. And then the next time we're going to talk about this, we're really going to get into the entertainment side of this and like more of today's time of this, as far as like Black entertainers, like rappers and music artists and all that stuff, actors too. We're going to be talking about that in the next video. And that one's going to be so interesting because we're really going to be diving into some of these stuff. And especially with the whole Megan Thee Stallion stuff that's circulating right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We are definitely going to be getting into it. We're going to be talking about it and showing you that the Boule, the Freemasons, they continue to operate to this day. This is not just like way back in the day history stuff. This is a continuation. This is still happening right now. Okay. It's never going to stop. It's going to keep going. So anyways, so that was this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you like it. Anything you want to say?
Nope.
Nice. Okay. Well, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.